I am calling this meeting of the Shaftsbury Select Board together at 6:31 on Monday, December 15th, 2014. We met earlier in a special budget meeting starting at 5, and we also went into executive session between 6 and 6:30. We had planned that for the end of the meeting, but we had a couple of our speakers not show up, so we decided to go ahead and do that then. So besides the executive session, one other change to the schedule is item 12, which is to discuss the dog licensing fee, which we did not put on the agenda. Next up on the agenda is warrants. The first warrant I have is a payroll warrant in the amount of $19,337.82. I move we approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mitch. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Abstaining? Second is a payroll warrant in the amount of $113.16. I move we approve.
That's a retirement warrant.
What did I say?
Payroll.
Thank you. Payroll warrant in the amount of $113.16. I move we approve.
Second.
Second by Mitch. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? And check warrant number 13 in the amount of $143,583.34. I move we approve.
Second.
Second by Mitch. Major items on this are, as Dave was indicating, the community appropriations are largely on this. So we have $7,000 for Arlington Rescue Squad. We have $7,100 for William Barney Construction.
That's regular gravel for different projects that were going on.
Blue Cross Blue Shield, 6501.
That is the new rate that'll be all for 2015.
Okay. Bennington County Regional Commission, 4667. That would be our annual dues. Bennington Free Library, community appropriation, 14,700. Bennington Free Clinic, 1,000. Bennington Rescue Squad, 2,000. Bennington Project Independence, 4560. Body Works Collision Center, 4828.
Yeah, during a construction job over the summer, a contractor's truck backed into one of our trucks, did some damage to the door. This is the insurance payment, or
Okay.
the insurance company paid for this, basically. They had sent a check, and we just paid it out of the funds.
Oh, okay. We're just transferring.
Yeah,
the
just
insurance
transferring
check to
between,
somebody. Okay.
yeah.
Doxy Roofing, 1956. That's for the
This is for the new
Work on
roof
the-
and work out here.
on the porch out here. Grandview Cemetery Association, 2,000. Bennington Habitat for Humanity, 1850. V&A Hospice, 5225. KAS 1173. This is for the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's the sidewalk grant, some planning stages, hopefully getting that moving.
Because we're still getting pushback from the state on,
Yeah, they're still looking at it, and they haven't made up a decision yet, but this is in conversations. This KAS bill has to do with planning regarding that and work on Trevor's easement, things like that. But it is part of that whole project that's budgeted.
Mountain Air Assessors, 2437. That would be Jim Boyle. McCullough Library, 6550. Nortrax Equipment, 1415.
That's parts for the excavator.
Perrin Recreations, 2500. Shaftsbury Historical Society, 2500. Southwestern Vermont Area Agency on Aging, I bet that was. Yeah, 1100. Sunrise Family Resource, 1,000. And North Bennington Water Department, 40,738. Oh, one other, CT Center for Independent Living, 1,000. Those are the major items. Any discussion on the check warrant? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining? All right, I got all the warrants. Number 3, conflict of interest. Does anyone have a conflict of interest with anything appearing on the agenda this evening?
No.
No. Approval of minutes. We have minutes from our last meeting. They have been circulated. I think everyone saw my first round of edits on them. And,
I didn't,
No, this was 2 meetings ago.
2 meetings ago.
Yeah,
is it?
yeah, the November 17th, but not the,
12:08 is
Second.
what I
oh,
have. Which
Was it last week?
right. No, I have only given those to you. I haven't given them.
Oh, okay, they haven't circulated,
Right.
okay. So,
We should have approved them. We should have approved
The
these.
December 1st one,
December 1st, we can
December
approve.
1st.
We had-
Oh, those
we-
were the ones that we held up because of that
Right.
issue about
That's right.
the fund
Funding,
balance and
the
the
amount of
sidewalk
fund.
fund, which we have clarified, the sidewalk fund is separate from the fund balance, and we all understand that now, so,
But you should probably take that one sentence out of that. Your-
yeah, I did take that one sentence out. Let me make sure I have that.
okay.
So it's the minutes from 12/1 that we're talking about. There they are. So these did get circulated, and Mitch suggested adding that one line, which I believe we didn't add.
There it is, right there. Explain the goal, reduce to 270, and
Yeah.
strike that whole thing. 'Cause
Yeah, well, that's right. We have been trying to reduce the fund balance down to 270. We think we're going to do that this year. But what you were saying was that we needed another line that said it's coming down to 270 because of the sidewalk fund, but that's not the case.
Then it's the other, everything equal, the fund will be 240 or 250 this year. If everything matches the budget, which we know it won't, at the end of 2015.
Yeah, well, I
Haven't
mean,
made
what,
on
I
it.
believe what I said at that meeting was the goal had been to reduce the fund balance to 270. So I think that statement's accurate. I don't think we were trying to address revenue projections at that time, so I would suggest these minutes are accurate like they are.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as of the end of fiscal 14, we were 364. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
At the end of fiscal 15, we don't know where we're gonna be yet.
We don't know where we're going to be, but the goal was to get to 270.
And we're on track for that, and even a little bit more.
Okay. So, any additions or corrections to these minutes? All in favor, let's see, we need a motion. I move that we approve the minutes from 12/1 as circulated.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining? Okay. All right, now the 12/8 minutes have not been circulated, so we'll let those go around before we try to deal with those. Announcements. Does anyone have any announcements?
I have one.
I have one. Go ahead.
For snow plowing, we did have a problem with some cars left on a roadway, which kept the plow from being able to turn around. I'd just like to remind everyone that there is a winter parking ban in Shaftsbury from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., December 1st through April 1st. It's just so the trucks can get through your streets. And there was a bit of a problem in one area because the trucks couldn't turn around and slowed things up considerably. So just a reminder, please, especially on those snowy nights, bring your cars in, please.
Okay.
I got something. The Shaftsbury Historical Society, as you've read in the paper maybe, we're looking for ordinary hero nominations. We're going to take them through the end of the year. Send a note to the Shaftsbury Historical Society, have P.O. Box 401, Shaftsbury, Vermont, explaining why the person you're nominating should be Shaftsbury's next ordinary hero. And an announcement of the, I don't know if this is other business or announcement, but Municipal Solid Waste Management Workshop on 1/28/14. I probably will attend. Tony, you consider going?
Yes.
We'll have to get, would you register us, Dave? or-
Yeah, if you two want to be registered, I'll take care of that.
Okay,
It's VLCT, so it's no big deal.
it's up in Montpelier. Jill Murr.
Any other announcements? Public comments. Do we have any public comments? No. Town Service Officer appointment.
We're going to postpone that. Our applicant had to withdraw due to a conflict of interest with her position, and we have a new candidate who we'll be looking at, so we'll bring that up next time. That just came about today, the new candidate.
Just saw that.
Yeah, so we'll bring that up for the January meeting.
Okay. All right. Road foreman's report. We have given the road foreman the night off. It's been a pretty tough week on the roads with the
Yeah.
storm that we just went through. So Dave, can you,
There's a lot of, I'll start by, if you could pass these down. The last meeting was asked for a cost estimate and a list of priorities for the Class 3 roads for any improvements for next year. So we ran off just some numbers here. I didn't have time to get these so they could go up on projector, but basically, when we talk about the roads, we're talking about segments of 430 feet long by 20 feet wide, and this is for a total rebuild of the road. So we're doing 320 yards of gravel at about a foot thick, 860 foot of fabric, because it's 2 lengths and rolls. Terry estimates there's probably about 2 culverts in that kind of a stretch of road, so we put that in. Grader for a 4-hour scale is at $125 an hour. 2 tandem axle rentals and 2 single axle rentals. Each job would actually depend on what we get, but I just took 2 of each. And that brings us to a subtotal of like $4,344. I added on additional costs for chloride, just pick the number 248. It's hard to predict how much chloride you're going to use. Also, there's a top coat of finer gravel that should be put on. It should be 3 inches thick, which works out to about 80 tons. It's more expensive gravel because it holds better. So it's about 12, so that adds 960. So what we figure for a 430-foot section of road, curb to curb, is about $5,500. If we did the Class 3 road fund that I was talking about, that would fund about a little over a half a mile of road in a year. It's just as expensive to do, but what you do is you get a whole new road, and when you're addressing the really bad parts, it should eliminate part of it. In Terry's estimate, he had the first 12 inches. I did add on the other 3 because you're supposed to have a top on it to meet their standards.
I've got an appointment to meet with Brian Lent and find out what they recommend. If you look what they offer, it's a whole list of them, so.
Yeah, it's a whole variety
And
of
so
materials.
So I just want to learn as much as I can about what he would recommend as a top coat, what it's going to cost. I think we can store it here and all
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
yeah,
okay?
because it is a solid base. The fabric is great on enough stone, but you have to have a top coat over the top of it.
You may want to put a roller on that too. Rollers,
Yeah, roller, add on, it depends, this is to give the general idea, because there will be other things that come up in
Okay.
this.
yep.
Quick question, why would we store it here if we can get it there? Do they just have a certain amount of supply of it and you need to get it pre-buy or something, or?
No, it's just that it probably, the base coat is usually over to Barney's, and that's
fine, yeah.
it's quite a bit closer. This is down to Hoosick, and it takes time and all that sort of stuff. Like you said, the grader's waiting, your flagmen are waiting. If it's right here, and
They just
you can haul it in here on days when there's nothing to do and
Yeah.
push it up with a loader, and it's right here.
Yeah.
Time is important on
Yep,
those
and
things.
they run back and forth from here. Even the rental tandems we have, they're coming here and getting loaded with our new massive loader out here. So the turnaround time is really quick. I think it could save, and it is. It's keeping the machine and the project moving the whole time. And that's where you really save time and money.
On some roads, Dave, you may want to figure, for crushed stone for drainage. If you get a particular area that's got a lot of water.
Yeah, I mean, each road, and that's why this is
Just a,
just a ballpark, because each road, each segment has to be looked at differently where things
Right.
are coming in. You look at,
Right, but to put those French drains in, you would use a different kind of fabric. Because there's one for the stabilization, which is great, but for the drainage, you want to put line the ditch with it. And then put the stone in, and it keeps the gravel, the dirt from infiltrating.
yeah,
Makes
that's
it last
essentially
longer.
what White Creek was.
Yeah, right,
It was just like making a burrito.
especially
out
down
of-
there, if you don't put that fabric down,
Yeah,
in a few years it'll plug right up.
yeah, and that's what holds the whole thing up.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like just rolling a burrito down there with stone in the
Right.
middle. Yeah. And just the roads, and again, this is preliminary now, with what sounds like a list that was prepared. It's the upper end of Daniels Road, Murphy Hill, heading down to Blue Pond Four Corners, the upper end of Cider Mill for like 300 feet, Bayhand through the swamp area, 200 feet, and possibly State Line Road, which would be 1,000 feet. And that total comes to about 55, half of a mile, 0.55 miles, which is right about the $40,000 we would have. So, and that's preliminary. Like I said, after mud season, these might seem like some of the better roads, so we'd have to change what we're looking at.
was Airport Road on that list?
Airport Road is on here separately. That
Was there-
section, yeah, hopefully, I would like to get a grant to do that, and we could work with,
I'm gonna be talking to them about that, to see what percent of the material they're gonna give to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully all of it, okay?
because that would make a huge
Big
difference. That's
deal.
something
So
we could
If we
do.
just put in the time and the fabric or something.
Yeah.
Did you have Blueberry Hill on there, Dave?
Terry did not give me that one. I'm not familiar with any problems up there.
That was pretty bad last spring, from
Was it? Yeah,
Blueberry Hill back north toward the orchard.
okay. And again, like I said, that's why, it's the expense projections. It tells you about how much it would cost to do each section, and then in the spring, we can actually
Right.
pick which ones to do.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just
see, I
thinking there
haven't
might be
heard
more
that one.
traffic up there
Yeah,
than, say, over at Bootland Hollow.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard that one, and I'm sure by spring, we're gonna hear different ones. The only steady, for sure one seems to be Airport, which, because we've all been on it, and we all know needs work, and just what we're gonna do with that.
Okay.
And has Terry given us a priority on these projects, like which ones are worst and which ones are?
No, this is just general, if we could do these, at this point in time, these are the ones that he thinks should be done. Priority-wise, because these actually fall into the budget amount, if we do the 40,000 fund for Class 3 roads, we could do them all. Timing would have.
Right, but if we come out of mud season with a new list of things that need fixing now, then which ones do we drop would be the question.
Yeah, I mean, that we'd have to get more details on. I don't have that answer for him right now. And I'm not familiar with the depth of the problems in these different areas. But we could definitely, no matter what happens when it gets to the time when the board will have to approve which ones we go to, I mean, there will be a punch list, prioritization, and will have something to do with the volume of traffic on the road, and some will need it this year and it won't get done.
Okay.
Well, my thought is this is probably a good number, that, these are things we know need work. If we get through a mud season with no new catastrophes, fix the things that we know need working, and if we come out of mud season with some things that are in worse shape, then, some of these won't get done, but this gets us moving, I think, in the right direction.
I think we ought to have somebody look at that first section of Harvest Hills and see what it's gonna cost, what that's gonna cost.
And that's, because Harvest Hills is paved, if there's money left over from the Class 3 road part, but we'll also have 35,000 in the paving reserve
Yes.
fund, and whether or not we get a large grant to do Class 2 road, we do have to work on doing repairs on that. There's also a general fund amount for 9,000, I believe it is, for capital projects in the operating budget.
Okay?
So we would have money to address at least stabilizing that section until it can be really worked on. And we have to keep an eye on all the paved roads. And we have to do as much as we can and stop-gap measures to keep them going. Otherwise, we're gonna have a rather large bill coming up at some point.
We have $35,000 in the paving reserve.
No, that's what I'm proposing for next year. This year, we only budgeted 25,000 to put in the paving reserve. The 20% of the maximum state grant that you can get is 175. Our 20% is 35,000. So I think we should always put 35,000 in the fund, because if we get like a grant to pave East Road, do the max we possibly can, and that's $35,000 worth.
And if we don't get the grant, we can still spend the
If we
35,000?
don't get the grant because it's not dedicated to a matching fund, we can take that over to Harvest Hills and start doing work there.
Or if we get a grant for 100,000 instead of 170,000, we pay 20%.
Yeah.
Which would be 20,000 instead of the 35,000.
Yeah, because we also have the issue that's hanging out there this year of replacing the culvert at Shaftsbury
Shaftsbury
Hollow.
Hollow.
And in January, we start that process. I was talking to the state last week, and we'll get on the list and we'll see where we turn out.
Okay.
Again, if we get the grant, we'll have something to spend the money on. If we don't get the grant, we'll just move it over to one of our Class 3 roads and start working on them.
Okay.
I think that's all I have for the road.
It's all for the roads, all right. Appointment policy.
The appointment policy. That dog license.
We had an email,
Yes.
Mitch responded to it, I forgot what it said.
Yeah, and this is, I only made 2 of these again because I was going through it today. For the appointment policy, we have to make a list of everyone who is going to be up, what officers are going to be up for appointment for next year, so people can put in. We have to have it out by January 1st. There's actually quite a long list here of posts. Well, what I was thinking is we'll get this on the website. It's not necessarily that these people are leaving, but these are positions that are expiring, so if people are interested, they can apply to them. There's a number of things on the elected side, the town clerk, the treasurer, there's an auditor position coming open, a lister position, trustee of public fund, the moderator, the tax collector, the constables, grand juror, town agent, 3 positions on the DRB, and 1 position on the planning commission. There's 1 vacant on the planning commission. So there's a whole, and there's another whole page of annual appointments. So what I'll do is I'll just get them all on the website, and as people apply or ask questions, we'll get it in front of the board.
And that policy's on the website too. I mean, I know the question was, we couldn't find a signed copy of it. I don't know. I don't know where it would be. I can't even remember if we actually did sign it, but the fact that it's in the minutes as approved by the prior select board, from what I understand, the Declaration of Independence wasn't signed initially. So, I mean, I don't think that makes any difference. So it's in the minutes, and what it does is it designates a timeline for getting a letter of intent, interviews and so forth to make an April 4th appointment date. So we start the second meeting in
Yeah.
December to list all the open
just list
vacancies and
these,
board
yeah.
members. I mean, the policy specifically deals with DRB and PC. I know Margie included all the different vacancies last year in the December
Yeah.
16th meeting, which is fine. I thought that was just a bonus, and it's just a matter of being transparent and keeping the public informed of what's coming up.
Yeah, because the policy does just address the PC and DRB, but if we're going to post those to the website, I'll just post them all to the
Yeah.
websites, what's open, and Yeah, you have to, January 1st, to post all these, January 15th to receive letters of interest. Other residents can put letters of support until February 1st, and then interviews will occur in the February Select Board meetings, and the appointments will be completed by April 1st. So there's a whole timeline going on here. But we'll take the first step, and we'll get all of them posted for January 1st.
Thank you.
Then we'll just follow it through.
Can you, David, check and see if the policy needs to be signed? Does anybody know? I mean, if we pass a policy, it's in the minutes, it was passed by the select board, does it have to be signed? I think it's kind of up to us, it's our policy.
Yeah, it's kind of, this board could sign it again. I wouldn't see any problem. That's more like we endorsing the policy. The group that did pass it, I know those members aren't here. So we can make a new signature page and have it signed at the next meeting as more like endorsing and continuing this. But it is in the minutes, it was voted on, it's recorded, it's adopted, it's on the webpage.
So are all the other ordinances and policies signed?
Yeah, so that we can find so far, yeah.
Okay.
And we are trying to make that a smoother thing too, so that we can,
Well, what if we just re-adopt it next time? We'll put it on the next agenda, you can circulate it to us, and then we'll just re-adopt it, and
okay, so
it'll be
January
legal.
5th, we'll just be adopted. I think we should do it at a regularly scheduled meeting. I don't think we should do it at it's just a budget vote next week.
Okay.
Well, it's been adopted. I don't know if re-adopt is the right term. Sign the appointment policy, I mean, you can't adopt something that's already been adopted. I
We
mean,
could, it's a,
It's an endorsement for recording.
yeah, for
however you wanna
recording
look at it, 'cause
purposes. I mean,
do you
whether or
have-
not it was enforced in the interim as of that date, it will definitely be enforced because it was adopted by this board and signed.
It's a formality which helps out in the record keeping that we will actually have a signed,
Okay.
signed document.
Yeah.
Because even the way it comes out of the computer, it's kind of like, quite in the format you might want it. So.
Well, the one I sent her, I got it, I can send you I mean, that's one I looked at with Jen sent. It was exactly the one I had final on it, so.
Okay. All right, so on the 5th, we'll bring that in for readoption. And in the meanwhile, I'll get everything up on the internet.
Great, thanks.
Draft of survey committee document.
That was from when you went to the meeting, you said.
The solid waste survey, are we gonna join a joint committee, did I give you the copy of that, or, no?
You have to do the alliance or the,
Yeah, this
Draft
involves,
resolution of the forum for joint survey committee. And basically, did I not pass, I don't know where I got that, I must have printed out.
You had a couple of them, right? Is that the final draft? That was the issue?
Pardon?
Is that the final draft?
No, this is, I think I got this in that package that he sent, and I didn't get it in the electronic form.
Right.
But maybe if you want to scan it in and send it to everybody, then we can sign it for next meeting. This is for to form a joint survey. Basically, it's to get all the towns to work together to try to implement Act 148. That's all it's doing.
is this perhaps to survey the towns and see if they want to be in an alliance or a district, is that?
No, I think this is I can ask Mike. Let me get a hold of Mike, and I'll have him forward this electronically to the town. How's that? See, okay, I'll get a hold of Mike tomorrow.
For those following at home, this is still more about garbage. The new solid waste rules that have come down from the state have us jumping through a lot of hoops, and one of them is entering into a district or an alliance with other towns to help manage the waste stream.
13 towns in Bennington County. Preliminary voted that joint, created an alliance versus a district, and that's where we're moving forward at this time. There's still a lot of unknowns. We've got a draft SWIP up to Montpelier at this point with a lot of blanks in it. It's gonna be an ongoing process to fill in all the blanks and make this Act 148 work, so.
And this preliminary step is
Yeah, it's
to survey the towns for relative to that act. We're not sure exactly what they're going to be asking us, but probably whether or not we want to join a district or alliance will be part of that, I would
No, I
suspect.
think we're pretty much on the alliance thing, but the district is not gonna fly at this point because of the timing and the state legislatures and all that stuff.
Okay. So I presume that document that we haven't read tells us what this survey committee is for? Okay, all right.
Yes.
We'll all read it and report back to you what the survey is for. Okay. Mower.
Okay, the mowers, we talked about buying mowers and looking at mowers. A mower that we haven't seen used, as we discussed last week, could be around $100,000. The same.
No, the 100,000 used.
Used.
Yeah, we were thinking that was a new mower last
Yeah,
week.
that's used.
That's used.
Yeah, the new mower, same type, without anything, is close to 200,000. So, I went through the old bids for roadside mowing and the old contracts we had and who's doing it now. We can contract out for next year for what's already budgeted of somewhere, it'll come in somewhere around the budget number of 15,000. I simply see no way to fund any equipment. And we have this budgeted this year, and I think we should just do it and have a private contractor mow the town. 2 passes we'll get. And any intersection things, we can come in and trim up ourselves as they get higher. It's just a question of setting the mowing month, June, September, however we want to do it, working it into the overall schedule. Some of these companies that do it have many contracts, so we'll fit in somewhere. But just simply, it's just a simple cost thing. Yeah, we're budgeted this year, that'll give us 2 passes. And we can take up this issue next year or just contract again. At 15,000 a year, adding in inflation, it's pointless to get a used tractor because by the time we paid off the used tractor, we'd need a new one. It's like an endless cycle. And the new ones are so expensive. I don't even know if it makes sense to have it sitting for so long. And we do have lots of road. We have 70 miles of road that needs to be mowed. So twice. And actually both sides. So it's like 140 miles twice. So, it's a big deal. I think it's a reasonable amount. It's already budgeted, and I would recommend to the board that we just bid this out. Get somebody to do it.
I'll take that recommendation.
So we're gonna ask. Yeah, if we're gonna do that, then we might be able to sell the other tractor and that sort of stuff. Also, we ought to be talking to different towns, larger towns that may have their own mower and see if we can't work something out with them too.
If it's just a mower, maybe we could, if it's staggered, we could, rent it from them for the time being or something along those lines instead
Yeah.
of buying a new one.
I think it mainly turns into a timing thing.
Yeah.
I mean, one day we could have the availability to mow, and we can't just go hop in the mower because, Bennington's using their mower
Sure.
one day. I mean, it could work, or it could be a real problem. We could not get the mower on the days when we have time to mow. It comes into a planning thing, whereas if we had the contract, it would just be done. And if we needed to send a guy when a guy had a day, he can go trim the corners and cut it back.
I think that's the way to approach it, is for 15,000, we get 2 passes of mowing a year, and then when we can borrow a mower from Bennington, we might need to go back and rework some of the corners or something like that.
I know what I was gonna ask. there's money in the 14 budget so that we don't have to wait till July 1st to start doing this?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can bid it now and they can mow in June.
Okay,
And we can sign the contract and it's all out of this year's budget because it was put in there.
yep, okay, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And a lot of those places like it if they can start in June because a lot of towns are a fiscal year behind, so they gotta wait till July 1st to, before they can start
Yeah.
paying them.
We could aim for June and September, the end of September or something.
Yep.
And get both passes done. Okay, then we'll go that way? Then
All
I'll,
right, do you need you probably want a motion for
yeah,
this?
I would like a motion to put it out to public bid. I have the bid forms, put it on the website and put it out, and I'll just start getting the bids right away.
All right, I
Do we have
move,
a date, open date of the bids, or do you have
Oh,
a,
no, I'll do the whole, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we have the original bids that have gone out several times, just change the dates, and I know from a couple of the people I've spoken to, the sooner the better as far as they're concerned, because they have lots of money invested in their equipment, and they want to know how they can allocate it, so. I'd imagine, it's kind of pointless now, it's the holiday 2 weeks, but in the beginning of January, we'll put it out and I'll get it going.
okay, I'll make a motion that we put out to bid the mowing of the town highways, 2 passes for June and September, or June and August, whatever.
Yeah, whatever we can work out at the back end there.
There's a second?
do you really want to put the
Timeframes?
Timeframes,
Yeah, it just
Yeah, I was
takes
kind
a-
of thinking because with
Two
scheduling
passes.
issues, two
Two
passes
passes.
might work better.
you want to mention the price, I bet,
budgeted for the $15,000
or just say using the budgeted $15,000.
as
so-
amended.
So the motion is to instruct the town administrator to put out to bid roadside mowing using the $15,000 budgeted in the current year budget. I'll second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining? Motion carries. Okay, one item we added to the agenda at the beginning is the issue of dog licenses. It's been pointed out to us by the town clerk that we've been collecting an additional fee on dog licenses that was supposed to be targeted for rabies control, and we have not been using that money for rabies control. It's just been going into the general fund. We've been talking about whether or not we should eliminate that $7 fee from the dog licenses, or do as she recommended, which is reduce it to a $3 additional fee and use it to help fund the program that we do currently have, which is a once-a-year rabies clinic, but it's so far it's been done with all volunteer labor, including the town clerk's volunteer labor, some of her friends, and a vet. Somebody remember the vet? I don't remember the vet, who volunteers time for it also.
Lee Delaney.
Pardon?
Lee Delaney.
Lee Delaney, yes, thank you.
There's Shaftsbury.
So, I put that out there. Does the board want to, we definitely want to reduce that fee. Do we want to reduce it? Do we want to eliminate it entirely? Continue to do the volunteer program the way we've been doing it? Or do we want to reduce it to $3 as recommended by the town clerk?
Actually, it's reduced $3 to $4 fee.
Is that
It's
what
from
you
7,
recommended?
yeah, that's-
Okay.
I would recommend that we reduce it $3 to the $4, and then if we don't use the $4 next year, we can reduce it further. The state gives us the authority to charge up to $10 extra for a dog license for rabies vaccinations. Right now, we're at $7, and we aren't using it. So the recommendation from the town administrator was to reduce that to $4 on top of the basic fee. And I think if we don't spend the $4 next year, then we can take it away completely if it's all volunteer. But I don't want to take it away now and then find out it's not volunteer anymore, and then we have to come up with money to fund the rabies clinic.
Dave, can you explain, you say it's volunteer, I assume that's people handling the dogs and stuff, but the vet doesn't give the shots free of charge. Doesn't he charge for the shots? I mean, because it costs money for the
There is a fee
for the vaccination,
yes.
so it really is not totally free?
No.
Okay,
no.
I just
No, it's
wanted to...
not, no, it's not totally free.
They
Okay.
charge, yeah, I think it's $12 or $14, like.
Right, the vaccinations are not free, but we are not spending any town funds on that event at the moment.
Yes, I understand.
Mitch, my only problem with your tract is, I don't think we should collect a fee that the state requires us to use for rabies and then see if we spend it or not. I think the fact that we haven't been spending it or not is a mistake, and we should fix that mistake one way or another.
Well, I mean, not been spending it completely or not been spending any of it? I thought she recommended that they do spend some of it, maybe that's to subsidize some of the lower income rabies stuff. I don't know if it's,
What she suggested was that was one possibility, is that we could use that $3 fee to lower the vet's current fee on rabies by some amount. I think, I don't have a strong feeling either way, I just think we ought to decide, and if we're going to do that, then that's what we should do. I don't think we should wait and see if we obey the law or not. I think we should choose to either spend that money on rabies or choose not to collect it.
Maybe we should find out if the state mandates that we collect something. You know what I'm saying? Does the state mandate that we collect something?
No, I'm
For a rabies
pretty
thing,
sure it's an
or-
optional fee.
VSA Section 3581, an additional license fee surcharge of up to $10 per license is to be implemented by the legislative body of a city, town, or village which established an animal and rabies control program for the sole purpose of funding the rabies control program.
Sounds like we gotta
We-
collect something.
We have to collect the baseline of the 10 you just mentioned. Then we have the option of putting the 7 on, another 10, I think it is, on top of that. We are putting 7 on top, is the way I believe it is.
No, I think with that $7, we got 2 fees, unaltered and altered, $15 and $19 currently. That includes a $7 surcharge, so it's
Yes.
really 8
8.
and 12. I think that's more reasonable than, I mean, I would think that maybe.
It doesn't
we
give us
do-
the option of whether we want to charge it or not. It says we have to charge something, up to $10. Is that not right?
Yeah, we have an established animal and rabies control program is to be implemented, of up to $10 is to be implemented. I don't know if that's.
An optional license fee surcharge of up to $10
So it's optional.
is to be implemented by the town, which has established an animal control program.
So you
I
can
think-
charge something.
So
You don't have
it's
to.
an optional fee, which we can charge if we have a rabies control program, up to $10, and we've been charging $7. She's suggesting that we offset the rabies shot cost with the money that we do collect. She's suggesting reduce it by $3 and use that money to reduce the cost of the rabies shot. So, yeah, I'm fine with that. I would just say, yeah, let's decide to do that, or just not collect the $7.
I'm still concerned that we have to collect something. I think the state says you shall collect,
No,
No,
it says in an option.
It's an option?
Optional
Okay.
charge, but
All right.
is to be implemented.
Yeah, I think maybe she's
Oh, okay.
paraphrasing state law here, and it says it's an optional fee.
okay. When I heard the word is to be implemented, I thought that, okay.
An optional license fee is being implemented, yeah, it's.
Well-
Yeah. I mean, we do fund a rabies control program, and that's what this is for. And $7, I don't think we need the $7, I think 4 is plenty.
I make the motion, we take all 7 off.
Second.
We have a motion to reduce the dog license fee, to eliminate the $7 surcharge on the dog license fee. We have a second. Discussion.
A second.
Second from Ken.
I don't think it's wise to remove it completely, because obviously there's some sort of, I don't know what we do with the town, but we aren't spending it all currently, but obviously we're spending some of it, and based on her recommendation, the one who manages the program, she doesn't say eliminate it all, she says eliminated $3 of it.
She says here that historically, it's been deposited into the general fund.
This excess is deposited into the general fund.
Right, I've spoken to her about this, and she says that, no, they're not using any funds when they have this the rabies control, the rabies day. It's her volunteer time and other volunteer time. The vet comes in, he collects his fee for doing the vaccination. That is our rabies control program. It's not...
So there's
we've
no
been-
cost to the town for a rabies control program here at all?
Correct,
That's what she said?
correct.
Mhm.
That's why my motion's for the $7. If we aren't using it, I think it's wrong to collect it and
Yeah.
not use it.
Just another tax.
Any more discussion? All right, the motion is to eliminate the $7 surcharge on the dog license fee. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Abstaining? Carries. 5-0-0. Okay, so let's, so we need to remember that budget item where we were looking at dog license fees earlier and project accordingly with our reducing that by 40% or so.
Yeah, we'll just take that off. It's not a huge number anyway.
All right. Happy dog owners. Town Administrator's Report. Dave, we still want to hear more from you.
Okay, well, the first thing is a procedural thing, the health reimbursement arrangement. I need the board to make a motion and sign an amendment to it. The health, Blue Cross Blue Shield last year, due to all the back and forth on healthcare plans, started in April. Blue Cross Blue Shield plans normally run in the calendar year, which our new one does. The health reimbursement arrangement has to run in the same period, so we just have to have a motion and sign an amendment that we agree to have the HRA start January 1st and coincide with Blue Cross Blue Shield. It's just procedural, it's the same amount, it's everything. I don't know if you want to just, that's the amendment, and this is what they call a formal record of action, that the elected body approves the change in the calendar year.
For just this fund, or just this?
But it's the health reimbursement
Health
account,
reimbursement
and
account.
because the only way you get reimbursed based on your deductible, and if the deductible is being taken out in the calendar year, the reimbursement has to be.
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah.
All right, I'll just read these off. Which one comes first? The amendment comes second, I presume?
Yeah,
Okay. Formal record of action. The following is a formal record of action taken by the governing body of the town of Shaftsbury, the company, with respect to the amendment of the company's health reimbursement arrangement, the plan. The following resolutions are hereby adopted. Resolved, that the plan be amended in the form attached hereto, which amended is hereby adopted, if I were a lawyer, I could read this. Resolved, that the plan be amended in the form attached hereto, which amendment is hereby adopted and approved. Resolved further, that the appropriate officers of the company be, and they hereby are, authorized and directed to execute said amendment on behalf of the company. This is great stuff. Resolved further, that the officers of the company be, and they hereby are, authorized and directed to take any and all actions and execute and deliver such documents as they may deem necessary, appropriate, or convenient to effect the foregoing resolutions, including, without limitation, causing to be prepared and filed such reports, documents, or other information as may be required under applicable law.
It's all one sentence, right?
it's a mouthful.
This, Blue Cross and Blue Shield is asking that we pass this?
No, this is the separate company that runs, this is Choice Strategies.
Choice Strategies.
Choice Strategies provides the HRA agreement, and it is just, our calendar year with Blue Cross Blue Shield is changing to be the calendar year from our current one, which was running April to April, which they never do.
Okay,
This
well,
just has a match.
the part that I almost understood said that we resolved to, the plan be amended in the form attached here too. That amendment says, whereas the company maintains the health reimbursement arrangement, the plan for the benefit of certain of its employees, and whereas the company desires to amend the plan, now therefore the plan is hereby amended as follows, effective as provided therein. Effective 1/1/15, the HRA plan is 1/1 to 12/38, with a short plan year from 4/1/14 to 12/31/14.
So this year we'll only do the 9
This year
months,
is
and then next year it'll be-
shortened, and the next year is...
So we're changing the plan from April to April. We're changing it from April to end of year 14, and then from beginning of year 15 to end of year
End of year
15.
15. And then it will coincide with the renewal of the Blue Cross Blue Shield,
It'll
given
coincide
whatever
with the
happens next
calendar
fall with healthcare, and we'll see where we are then.
So move.
Well said, sir. I'll second.
We can play the tape of that if you want.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. So this looks like it might even want to be,
Signed.
Signed. By you?
okay, no, I don't see a witness. Okay, so I guess I can just sign it.
Yeah, it's worded oddly there, in witness whereof, and then it only has one place to sign.
Dated this 15th day of December,
Bedtime reading.
2014.
Well, if you like that one, the next one is the rewritten lease agreement from the attorneys.
Gosh, oh, that's terrific.
Oh, yeah. Did you want the pen? I haven't learned to do it with a bunch of different pens to give them all away yet.
Yeah, if you had done that, we could have auctioned them off.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, the next, we won't read this one, it's 2 pages long. This is the amended lease agreement regarding the McCarthy property across the street. As you may recall, his attorney, Sarah Wilson, sent a proposed lease. We sent it to Rob Wilmington's office, and Merrill sent back an amendment to that. The lease agreement you have in front of you includes Merrill's recommendations. I thought Dennis might come tonight. I'll have to get him a copy of this. The last thing we need to put in is the dates and the amount we want to do.
We voted last week on the amount.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the time,
and the time,
So it'd be the 300 for the 10 years.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Then we will just add that in, and if you want to sign this tonight, or you want to wait till Dennis sends it, then we can sign it tonight and just,
Do they want all of us to sign it, or just? I mean,
President, so.
actually, you know what, I'm going to have to say that I think that, Tim, you should come back when Judy's here, so it can be done in front of a notary.
I'm an,
Oh, Jen's a notary.
and I'm an owner.
Oh,
Okay.
notaries everywhere, okay.
Now, this says that it ends with
I could use
the
this.
sale of the property, they have to come back and renegotiate.
Well, no, it doesn't say that.
Yeah.
I mean, not in those words, it does,
Yeah.
it does in other words, but,
I'm not expecting any surprises, but I'm not going to sign it until I've read it. And I
Yeah.
have to confess, I haven't read through the whole thing
Yeah.
yet, so.
if you stop by with it, and I'll call Dennis and let him know he can stop by and pick up a copy. I don't know if he'll want to run it by his attorney again before he signs it, but,
Yeah, why don't you send it to all of us, and we'll just...
Okay.
We could do it at the special meeting, right? This is pretty...
this is just signing it. I mean, you've already voted on doing it and everything. This is just changing the language again.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so.
I just don't want to sign anything I haven't read
Yeah,
all the way through
yeah.
yet, so, yeah, we'll take care of it next week.
Okay. I'll read it, I'll read it again.
All right.
I believe that takes care of me.
Okay.
Yep.
Other business.
I noticed when I came in, Tim, there was snow falling or sliding off of this slate roof. I think we gotta have some signs out here, falling ice and stuff. Somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, I asked for those today, actually. We need to have signs, like you see them commonly on other buildings, warning of falling ice, snow and ice. And not so much here, although Judy's car got a good dose of snow today from the
Yeah.
roof. On this side over here, we need to have it too. So it's just signs to beware of falling snow and ice.
I think people's hoods have been dented there in the past,
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
Yeah.
so we learn.
It comes off that roof, it's moving.
Yeah,
Kill somebody.
yeah.
Okay.
So I did ask about getting those signs today, so we
Okay.
can post them up.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay. Yes, as we watched Judy's car get buried, it almost like, no parking zone there. She should know better though after
That's
30
right.
years.
You should.
That don't make it any better.
No, particularly when it happens to you, right?
I guess there is no other business. We can figure out what happened to everything in our Dropbox. We're in good shape.
I tell you.
We may have to just this is just kind of an aside, but the Dropbox file, all of our stuff disappeared. There's a log file, and it claims that Tony deleted it all.
Thank you.
He doesn't know that he didn't do that on purpose, so, and he can't find it, so we probably ought to think about reconstructing that, or not. I guess we probably all just got all the things off of that we wanted. There was,
Yeah, I think
like
most
the
of-
policies and some other general documents that we,
Well, policies we
we
can
look
just
at.
regenerate, that's.
Right.
yeah, well, the
Most of
policies are all on the web.
website
Yeah.
anyway.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
If you come across one that isn't on the webpage that we missed, let us know and we'll put it
Okay.
up too.
at least
Let's,
start using it again.
Yeah, let's just start using it again. Let's do
It was getting
that.
kind of full anyways.
Hmm?
It was getting kind of full anyways.
Yeah,
Well, we can set it up
Bunch of junk.
differently, a little bit differently. You had the select board agendas and you had everything in that folder.
Yeah.
You just have select board and then maybe have agendas, minutes, something
Yeah.
in there, whatever.
Can you make it tamper-proof?
that is,
Read only for you.
unfortunately, that is one of the drawbacks of that, is it's the easiest thing in the world to go in there and just select, stuff and drag it onto your desktop. And when you do that, you've taken it out of the Dropbox. So you have to remember
See, I
whenever you
didn't
take
know
it.
that.
Yeah, whenever you take it out of the Dropbox, you have to copy it and paste it. Otherwise, you
Download it.
you take it away from everybody else. And there's not a way around that.
I found that out in an experiment. I was playing with it just to see what happened. And I was like, hey, that's interesting. You can just empty anything in it whenever you want. It's strange.
All right, well, in reviewing action items, we decided we are going to have a budget meeting next week at 6:30. We're going to put on the agenda for that the appointment policy and readopt that.
And I'm gonna forward you
You're
the
gonna forward
SWIP
us the SWIP
survey. I'm gonna
survey.
talk to Mike Batcher to get you the SWIP survey.
And then my other notes were just budget details.
Motion to adjourn.
Are you signing that lease, or at your leisure? Is that the way it is?
No,
Because
it's gonna sign
No, we'll circulate that,
Okay.
and everybody will get a chance to read
so
it.
that'll be voted on next.
That'll be on the agenda next week as
Okay.
well, yeah. Yeah.
I saw Mr. McCarthy and updated him on it. It didn't seem like it was, anything urgent.
All right. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.